After over 20 years of the Honda Prelude's absence on the market, Honda has brought back the nameplate of the fun Grand Touring-esque front-wheel drive, four-cylinder, fun-to-drive coupe. Okay, we haven't had a coupe in Honda's lineup for some time now. They killed off the Accord coupes. They killed off the Civic coupes. This is technically a Civic coupe. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but no S2000s. All right. And when I was growing up, a kid of the 80s and 90s, Honda and coupe were synonymous. Okay. Honda did coupes really well. Remember the old Del Sol, for example. All right. So the Prelude is back, not only as a Prelude, but as Honda's only coupe right now. The NSX is gone too. Okay. I know that's more of an Acura, but still, we've been waiting not only for the launch of the Prelude, but more importantly, or just as importantly, we're wondering, hey, what's it going to cost? Well, I have news for you guys today. It may come as a surprise to some of you. It may not come as a surprise. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the price of the Prelude and what it offers, and we're going to stack it up to other cars that it competes against. And it might not look that great for the Prelude when it's all said and done. But I don't want to jump to conclusions. Wait to the end before we finalize our opinions. So let's hop on over to the press release. Embargoed until right now, 11 a.m. New Prelude pairs two-motor hybrid powertrain with Civic Type R chassis components. Okay, this car would have been dead in the water, completely dead, done, put a nail in it, stake in it, nail up the coffin if it did not have the Type R chassis. If it was just a two-door Civic hybrid with different styling, it would have been a complete failure. Now, they would have charged less for it. That would have been a reality. Okay, but that's luckily it has the handling chops of a Type R. It does not have the performance chops, nowhere close of a Type R, but the price is close to a Type R, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. New Honda S Plus Shift. It's exclusive to this vehicle for now, but S Plus Shift is going to be an all upcoming refreshed hybrids from Honda, whether it's the 2-liter or even the new V6, probably a 3-liter V6 hybrid that you'll see on the Pilot, the Passport, okay, the Odyssey. All right, I'm excited for the V6 hybrid, very much so. But yeah, S Plus Shift, where you can use a paddle shifters to mimic an 8-speed DCT, essentially. All right, it doesn't give you any more power, just makes it more engaging, more fun to drive, which is sometimes not always that easy to do in a hybrid. I have a hybrid out here. It's kind of hard to see right here. I got to get the review up. That's the Crown Sport, or I wish it was a Crown Sport. My gosh, it's a Crown sedan with the Hybrid Max powertrain. And that is actually really fun to drive hybrid. 6-speed auto in there, 340 horsepower. We won't have that sort of performance here on this car. Grand Touring experience delivers precise steering, which I have no doubt it will. Honda steering plus Type R underpinnings. It's going to be really, really fun to throw in the turns. Responsive handling and a composed ride. All right. And here it is. Without further ado, there's just one trim level. It costs $42,000 before destination. Destination is $1195. To give Honda the benefit of the doubt here, they remind us about, and it's not in this press release. Let me pull it up. It's in an email. I'll read the email separately. Here's what, when you break it down. The new Prelude cost almost $2,000 less than the 2001 model when adjusted for inflation. The 2001 Prelude cost $23,600, which equates to $43,776 in 2025. All right. Prelude is half the price of the next available hybrid coupe in the market. As much as I want to give them credit for that, this isn't competing against other hybrid coupes. This is competing against fun to drive cars. It's competing against other coupes, hybrid or not. It delivers 46 miles per gallon city. That's pretty remarkable. But so does the Civic hybrid. 41 miles per gallon on the highway, so 44 miles per gallon combined. Prelude is the most efficient two-door coupe on the market. I understand that, but when you're talking about a coupe, practicality takes a long way down to even make it on relevant points. When you adjust for inflation, it's about the same price. Let's be real. It's about the same price. Now, buying power is greatly diminished compared to what it was in 2001. And really, you're not fighting inflation. The Prelude is not fighting inflation. The Prelude, say, comparing it to what it cost 20 some years ago, it's not even, other than having the Prelude name, it's not really even related. Other than having a Honda badge and the Prelude badge, it's not related really whatsoever to the old Prelude. So it's hard to say, oh, adjusting for inflation. Okay. Well, inflation's not the battle you're fighting. The battle you're fighting is against the competition. So what I have done is I have a lineup of cars and their prices, at least in current market conditions, what they cost on the right now. I'm going to start with the Civic Hybrid. Remember the Prelude, maybe I should just keep the, I'll just put the price down at the bottom with a little picture of the Prelude for you, 43,000, whatever it was. Okay. The Civic Hybrid, you can get them for as low as $28,000. I know that the Prelude has Brembo brakes, Type R suspension. I know, but it has the same powertrain. It doesn't have the S Plus shift, but it's going to be just as fast. 181 horsepower the vast majority of the time. Why? Well, let's go to the spreadsheet. Okay, not that one, this one. Okay, this is the official specifications and features. The 141 horsepower gasoline engine is there 99% of the time, unless you're on the highway. It's there as a generator, and it doesn't clutch into the wheels unless you're doing highway speeds. So as a result, your full-time power, and it's good. It's good power for a Civic Hybrid, but it's hard to argue. And I love Honda. You guys know how much I love Honda. This vehicle, it's hard for me to talk about because I want a manual transmission. I love the Type R's powertrain, or even the 2-liter turbo detuned to 270 horsepower, so that we used to have in the Accord. Manual or not, like I'd love to have a manual, but the performance from the engine is it's tough for me to get my head around. So anyways, 181 horsepower is what you're dealing with 99% of the time, and 232 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty darn good for a Civic Hybrid that you can get for under $30,000. The only time it gets to this 200 total system horsepower is on the highway, when the engine and the electric motors are working together to power the wheels. Civic Hybrid, I mean, I have 3 extra seats and more cargo capacity. I'm okay, and I can upgrade this thing too. I can put Brembos on this. I can lower it. I can put stickier tires for it to compete a little bit better with that, Prelude Hybrid. Civic Si, okay? This is a little bit more engaging. Still good fuel economy, 25 in town, maybe a little bit better at times, 40 on the highway. Fun to drive, 6-speed manual. 1.5 liter turbo, about 200 horsepower, right? This car isn't quite as fast as the Prelude or the Civic Hybrid, but it has the manual, and a lot of people don't just want a manual. All right, it's a great car. Really love the Civic Si. All right, would I pick it over the Prelude and say 14 grand? I'll let you decide. I think you guys know what my thoughts would be. Type R. So I saw 2 Type Rs today. One was lowered, one was stock. Head snapping cars, beautiful cars. You can get them, assuming the dealers aren't going to wheel and deal you around and play the shell game with you. Guys, this one has a slight discount on it. This is only 3-4 grand more expensive than a Prelude. Infinitely more functional as a car. Well, I wouldn't say infinitely, because the fuel economy is nice. We're about an extra 150 horsepower. I'll do the math on the screen for you guys. What the Type R is, 320 horsepower? 315, sorry. I think the Type S Acura has a little bit more, if I remember right. Anyways, 315 horsepower for about only 4 grand more. There's nothing you can do to modify the Prelude to get more power out of it because it's a hybrid. No modifying hybrids that I'm aware of other than suspension braking sort of thing, and maybe aero. Guys, it's in the same ballpark as Type R pricing, assuming, again, dealers aren't going to mark. They can mark up the Prelude too. Car I just drove last week. Absolutely love the Nissan Z. 400 horsepower, twin turbo V6, gorgeous coupe. I like the looks of it a lot. Rear wheel drive, not front wheel drive, rear wheel drive. And this is a great deal. Now, when these came out like a few years back, right, there wasn't hardly any availability. Dealers were marking. Now dealers are marking these down. Look, a 3.5 grand price drop on the Z Sport. This costs less. This Z Sport with 400 horsepower Costs less than a Prelude with 181 horsepower. This is such a good deal. Now, I know it doesn't have the limited slip diff, which you get on the performance trim, but check this. I want to show you something, guys. There's 20 performance trims in my area, and look, they cost about the same. Look at $9,000 price drop. They cost about the same on the market. Ooh, the yellow's great. They cost about the same as not only the Prelude, but the Type R. Think about that. It would be tough for me to choose this or a Type R. If you want a coupe, this is your option, right? If you want a coupe, or if you want a rear wheel drive, or you want a V6, you don't want a boosted 4-cylinder that you have. And it's a great engine. Don't get me wrong. It's a great engine in the Type R, but this sounds a lot better. Really fun to drive. The Type R is too. They're just completely different animals. Anyways, something to consider. There aren't that many coupes on the market anymore. Okay, so it's great that Honda's bringing it back. But what about the Mustang? What about the Mustang? Okay, well, you can get one for $46K, about the price of a Prelude as a drop top. What does the EcoBoost have nowadays? The EcoBoost Mustang has over 300 horsepower. Yeah, 315 horsepower, just like the Type R. Okay, but it's rear-wheel drive, okay? Rear-wheel drive is more fun. Well, we'll get to that car in a little bit. Rear-wheel drive is more fun to drive. All right, here's the thing. The Prelude, though, hey, you can drive it year-round. All right, your fuel economy is going to go down in the winter, as it does on all cars, but because it's a hybrid, it's not quite as efficient in the wintertime. But you have front-wheel drive. It's not, it's great to have that as a winter car. The Mustang Z in the winter, I don't know. But you can also make the claim, well, I'll just get a Civic Hybrid or a Type R. I wouldn't be driving my Type R in the winter. That's just me if I had one. But yeah, Mustang. Wait, you can get these for as low as $36K. 26 model. Guys, I didn't know Mustangs were this cheap. This is a great buy. A great buy. And you can modify this thing so it doesn't look so dorky. $31K? $31K for an EcoBoost Mustang. That is probably the best bang for your buck performance car on the market. I haven't driven an EcoBoost Mustang in a long time, but that is crazy value per dollar, performance per dollar. Mind-blowing. Really, really good there. Really good. If you want something from Japan, again, we're coming back to Japanese brands, Toyota GR86 and subsequently the Subaru BRZ. You can get these things, guys, for $33K. $34K, $35K. Manual transmission is an option. Rear wheel drive. Man, great looking car. $36K for this one. Something, let me put in lowest price. $33K, $34K, $35K. All right. Still significantly less expensive than the Prelude. And it's 228 horsepower. Has a back seat as well. The Z does not have a backseat. The Prelude has a backseat, but I would say the GR86's backseat could be more functional. All right, let's keep moving. We're almost out of options here. Look at this. You can get a discounted 230i. Look at the wheels on this. Freaking cool, right? I have not driven a whole lot of modern BMWs, unfortunately. The press fleet is they're a little bit too far away. I gotta keep pressing though, press the press fleet to give me these BMWs to review on the channel. Or I could start working with a local dealer. That maybe it's not something I'd like to do, but might have to resort to that. Anyways, 230i, $2,000 off of MSRP. This has 255 horsepower, rear wheel drive. You can get it in all wheel drive as well. Now it's automatic only if I remember correctly. Still, this is the same price as the Prelude with the current market conditions. Heck, you can even get a red one for $43K. Pretty cool. Pretty cool car. Really, really capable. Really, really good. Unfortunately, I haven't driven one, but something to consider if you have $43K to burn on a coupe. Mini hardtop. Mini hardtop Cooper S. You can get these, look, well below $40,000, $37,000. Man, those wheels are terrible in my opinion. They look fine with anything other than silver, probably. Orange, yellow, the white wheels will look good with. Anyways, yes, you can get minis. All right, lots of character, lots of attention-getting behavior, in my opinion. I think minis, although they're not quite as fun as they used to be, are still really, really good handling cars. They have great visibility, a little hatchback fun. Like, I love the mini hardtop. I reviewed the convertible earlier this year, really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it was going up against a Miata. Holy cow, I didn't bring a Miata up. This was the last car I was going to talk about, but since I compared this to a Miata and it lost to a Miata, 181 horsepower, if I remember right. Let me double check. I think it's 181 Miata horsepower. Yeah, 181 horsepower. Exact same horsepower as the Prelude. Doesn't get, actually the fuel economy is pretty crazy on this thing. Maybe not as good in town, but I've seen over 40 miles per gallon on this. Okay. Very fun to drive. Super duper fun to drive. Not nearly as functional. Doesn't have a lift back. Doesn't have rear seats. But that drop top fun. This is the most fun car on the market for the money. The most fun. I'm not saying it's the fastest or X, Y, and Z, but the fun factor on this car is better than anything else for under $40,000. I think most of you would agree with that. The GR86 comes close, but the drop top just opens up your options here for just, hey, do you want a little bit more of a freed up experience? You have that here, and when the 86 doesn't. Okay, but as low as $30,000 here for the base sport models. Great buy. Love the whoa. Guys, 28K. Should I sell my motorcycles and get an MX-5? I love the MX-5 so much. It's one of my favorite cars. And the fact that we're seeing discounts on them and this is the best color to get too, the Soul Red Crystal. Wow. Okay, so the Prelude could be dead on arrival. The Prelude has all these competitors within Honda's lineup, outside of Honda's lineup, Japanese coupes, American coupes, German coupes, British German coupes. Like, there's a lot of options out there for about the same price or less, or for just a hair bit more, you can get worlds of difference performance. Like, out of all the cars I'm discussing here today, the Prelude has the worst performance, best fuel economy. It has the worst straight line performance. Now, it might have some of the best handling performance out of the cars today, but actually, when you think about it, the Miata's great handling. Mini's a great handler. BMW's great. GR86 great. Mustang, maybe not as good as the cars I just mentioned, but same ballpark. Z handles great. Type R, insane. Okay, SI handles really well. Base Civic Hybrid Sport does not handle nearly as good as the rest of the cars that I mentioned due to its, more all-season focused tires and its fuel economy focused tires. As a result, I don't know how successful the Prelude's going to be. Okay, I would say not very. And that hurts. I love Honda. You guys know, got my little Moto Compacto down there. I got my Honda Grom over there. I know those are two-wheeled things, but I love Honda car. You know how much I love the Odyssey when I reviewed it earlier this year, late last year. There's so many Honda vehicles that I love. The Prelude, it's tricky because I, as a kid of the 80s and 90s, have these expectations of a Prelude, not in terms of price, but in terms of engagement, fun to drive, unique. It's definitely unique. And I still am not 100% sold on the looks compared to its competition. Okay, maybe it beats the EcoBoost Mustang, and that might be it. Okay, in terms of looks. And when I'm thinking about buying a coupe that's already not very practical, I want it to look dead sexy. That I've come up with that conclusion with motorcycles too. I don't need to have the most high performance car. Okay, but the fact is that the Prelude, it doesn't really come close to the competition in terms of performance, or at least engine performance, powertrain performance. Okay. And that's a tough pill to swallow for me. In today's market, a hybrid's great, but a hybrid's the more practical option. We're in an impractical car, a coupe, liftback, a 3-door. So give me something that's going to slurp the gas a little bit. Give me that 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, the K20C engine, if I remember right. That's in the Type R, just detuned. It was in the TLX. It's in the RDX. Man, it'd be great. It would be great in the Prelude. Now, there's always that door that can be opened through a few different alleys for Honda. They could Type R it. It's already got the Type R underpinnings. And then they put the 2-liter turbo in there. All right. Some of you might be saying, Kirk, that's what it should be right now. For the price, it shouldn't cost that much more than a Type R, but have the Type R's engine. That's a great point. That's a great point. You know, it costs $43K. I can see Type R's in my area for $47K. Now, you would have your option for about the same price in theory of a sedan or, you know, hatchback Type R or the 3-door. There's your options. Okay, the Prelude Type R. Okay, should the Prelude just be a Type R? But I would also love to have a detuned, like I said, the detuned K20C engine would be awesome. All right, even 250 horsepower would be awesome from it. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with the Prelude. You know, I have to look at things. Obviously, I have my bias, but I try to lay it out as objectively as possible, pulling up just about every potential competitor from within Honda to outside Honda. And it just doesn't look good from a price to performance aspect or a hot AF car perspective. I won't be driving the Prelude at the media drive early next year. It's during my birthday, so I won't be able to make it. And I will have one of my good friends and colleagues sharing his driving impressions with the Prelude. That colleague, I love him. He's amazing. He's far more successful than I am. He's typically not as opinionated as I am, on camera anyway. I'm interested to see what his takeaways are, his personal takeaways are with the Prelude. Okay. So I'll see you guys in the comment section. It's going to be a very hotly contested comment section. Maybe not. Maybe it won't even be contested. Maybe some of you or most of you are just gonna be like, dead. It's done. It's dead on arrival. Maybe some of you are like, hey, I'm fine with this. Like, I don't want a manual transmission. I like the fuel economy of it. I like the looks of it. I like the handling aspects of it. And you're happy to put down $43K for one of these things or more with markups. I also didn't mention that there could be a back door for not Type R, but maybe an Acura model. But then we're talking more money too. I mean, we don't have any Acuras right now made in Japan. And the Prelude and the Type R are the only vehicles made in Japan right now for the United States. They were bringing in some Civic hybrids from Japan, but after tariffs, I'll get the Prelude as a press car, probably early 2026, and I can spend a whole week with the car and I'll tell you what it's like to live with as a 3-door hatchback. I can't take my kids to school in it because it's a 4-seater, but I'll be able to give you guys some more down-to-earth real-life impressions on the Prelude when it becomes available in my press fleet. So I'll see you guys in the comments. Stay tuned for more Honda news, more updates. Honda will have a presence at CES again in early January. I don't know if I'll be going. We'll see. Time will tell. But typically at the CES, it's their 0 Series cars. All right. So not necessarily the same crowd as I'm talking to right here. Okay. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for more. Have a great day. And I'll catch you in the next one. Long live the Prelude.